This is my base, and this is who the neighbors are. It was time for me to explore the upper yard and ground it for the first time ever, so I wanted to make a new base closer to where I'd be frequenting. I needed a location that was safe from any major threats, but accessible enough to go to and from easily. I also wanted to take things a little bit further than my first base, which was nothing more than a few grass walls sitting on a rock. In this video, I'll be walking you through the process of setting up my base and exploring areas of the backyard I had never been to. Will the neighboring bees be a problem? What creatures lie in wait for me to the north? Let's find out. The first thing I did after getting all the super chips of the lower backyard area was scout for a location for an improved base. I looked at the picnic table because of its height above the ground and great positioning to upper yard access. We'll be able to make it nice and cozy, and because of the height, we'll be able to get access to everywhere from up there just fine. Oh man, it looks like I can't actually build on the top of this. That's really unfortunate. It won't let me build anything here. Yep, I can't put anything on this surface. That's unfortunate. That would have been a great spot. Well, I suppose we can put it right down there. There's plenty of space there. Right down there. Plenty of space right there. First things first, we need to get this zip line placed. I also decided that I wanted zip lines in a couple of spots so I could save a bunch of time going to the upper yard instead of walking over. So it took a little time to set them up. It's a bit of a tedious process, but ultimately saves a ton of time. The hard part is actually getting up there because I still don't know how to do that. So I guess we work on figuring that out. I made my way to the nearby wall in hopes of finding a way up. It was still dark out and I didn't have a place to sleep to pass time until morning, but luckily it didn't take long at all to find what I needed. There's got to be some break in the wall that'll allow me to get up there. Upper yard ascent. Okay, perfect. This must be the spot. Do I have explosives on me? Tell me I have them on me. I do. Papa bless. Oh, that hit me in the face. Alright, we are up here. This is great. Now we just need to match the anchor over there with one over here, so that way we can just get quick access to the upper yard. Alright, there's that. I think we can create one from here and maybe just zip line it like over down there, just to kind of have another spot to get up here from. That'll be a good play. I think right there will do. Beautiful. And now we can just get down very quickly from there. Sick. Alright, that's going to make getting back to the base a lot quicker, so that way when we come back for resources, we can just go there and then just do a full loop really quickly. But also, it just opens up a lot of access to the upper yard very quickly from the main base that we're about to make as well. Took a while to set up the zip lines, but I think it was worth it. After looking over what I could make structures out of in a small amount of deliberation, I decided on making my new base out of clay and weed stems. Knowing that I was going to need a large amount of both of these, I got to work chopping down weeds and carrying them up to the area I wanted to put my new base. That is a lot of weed stems. Nice. All right, how much clay do I have? 55. That's likely not going to be enough for what I'm trying to do here, but it will be enough to kind of get started laying down the foundation of what I want to do here. And just like that, we're out of clay. Running out of clay was expected, and I already had a plan in place to get more. I ran over to the puddle on the east side of the backyard to gather as much clay as I could carry. This place is absolutely filled with clay nodes to farm. And just like that, we have 180 clay. Probably more than I'll end up using. With plenty of clay in my pockets, I returned back to what was the beginnings of my base to fill out the rest of the foundation. I had so much clay that I decided to expand the foundation out even further, giving myself more than enough space to work with. Now that the foundation was complete, it was time to put down the blueprints for the walls. At first I wanted to wall off the path in front of my base, but it didn't match up with the very edge of the picnic table and that bothered me, so I eventually tear it down. After situating that, I started placing the walls down on my base. When I build bases in survival games, I generally build purely for functionality. As long as there's storage space for all the items and materials that I get, as well as have space for all the crafting fixtures, then I'm pretty happy. This time though, I decided to do something ever so slightly different. At the time, I didn't know what I was going to use this space for, but I figured it would at minimum help me keep an eye on the neighbors. With all the blueprints being where I wanted them, I started to place the materials needed. Unfortunately, I didn't gather nearly enough weed stems, so I had to head out again to start farming them as much as I could. I spent several in-game days farming a ton of weed stems as all the walls and flooring required so much. Looking back at the process I went through with constantly jumping down and running my way back up, it might have been faster to make a jump web elevator of sorts to transport materials faster, but I was already so close to being finished that I just kept going despite it being tedious. Now that all the walls and floors were placed, I was finally able to add a few finishing touches to complete the structure of my base. And just like that, the structure of my base was officially complete. I needed something to make the place feel like home, so I made a fireplace. My building was officially upgraded from base to home. Overall, I was very happy with what I built. It was simple, as I like to do, with plenty of space for functionality of everything I plan to have here. All that's left to do at this point is to place all the crafting fixtures like workbench, cookery, and all the others. I also took time to make the interior area of my home more cozy, which was great considering the actual cozy mechanic that makes your hunger and thirst stats drain significantly slower, adding benefit to decorating. I was overall pretty happy with my base, so it was finally time to do some exploring of the upper yard. There were resources not too far off that I wanted to get my hands on, so I made my way over to the tipped over grill. I have all sorts of sizzle protection. This is great news. Looks like these ladybird larvae are just much higher health regular larvae. It even drops the same stuff. I have to break this. Even with all of my resistance, that sizzle buildup is pretty dang quick. Okay, we got 3 chunks out of that. That's great news. We're just going to collect all of them that we can find in the immediate area. Oh, something is buried here? I saw that. It's salt. I mean, you know. Now that I knew what Evercoal chunks looked like, I took a moment to farm all of them in the area so I could stock up on them. I mostly needed them for the oven, which allows me to craft upgrade materials for higher levels. I also took a moment to gather some things in the area like molars and raw science. Stealthiest gamer. What about this bag of coal here? Maybe we can find more inside. Gotta find a way in. Oh, there is a way in. While exploring, I found that I could get inside of the bag of charcoal. When I went inside, I found something quite interesting. There's a sword in that. Let's see if we can grab it. Flaming sword, pull. Mastering secrets. Okay, looks like we have to defend this. But from what? Oh, ladybird larva. Damn. Oh my god, it's so warm in here and I can't do much about this. Oh no! Leave it alone, man! Despite my best efforts in slaying tons of ladybird larvae, I just couldn't keep up and was overwhelmed. This told me one thing: I needed to either upgrade my weapon or craft a new one that is stronger. Now that I could build the oven, getting some new weaponry was an appealing idea. I was in need of a few things like tough gunk to be able to do this though, so I set out to find some. Luckily, I already knew where to find what I needed. Man, those things are tanky. With some of the materials needed for a new weapon, I went back home to put some things together. I made a couple salt globs and mint globs so I could make the salty Morningstar and mint mace. I first started with the mint mace since big bonk hammers are always a good time. I leveled up my new mace as much as I could with the resources I had and set out to try to get the sword and the charcoal bag again. I got distracted on my way there when I saw something glimmering off to the side, so I followed it to find this. What is that? A scarab? Well, that's new. Twinkling shell. At the time, I didn't know just how important this find would be. After the slight distraction, I focused on my objective and found that the mint mace was far more effective than the dagger I was using earlier. Yes! Yes! Spicy Coltana. Alright, we have a katana? That's sick! With another new weapon blueprint in my inventory, I raced back home to craft one to test it out. I knew of a couple wolf spiders that would be perfect for the occasion. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let's do it again. Wolf spiders have been completely trivialized. While I wouldn't use the Coltana much in my playthrough of Grounded after this point, it was still a cool find and made me excited about exploring more of the upper yard. With all the excitement around new weapons, I also took a moment to craft a Salt Morning Star as I was interested in that as well. What is this? I mean, I can't not try to take them on. Oh, you have a lot of health there, buddy. Ouch. Oh, we got him! That thing is crazy! Black ox parts. Alright. Alright, a new type of bug already. I mean, I just got here. And already with this. There's another one over there. Whoa! You know, those guys really aren't bad. Oh, we got a black ox horn. Taking down a couple of black ox beetles with my new Morningstar had me feeling confident, and I knew I was going to use this weapon for a while. I love having a shield for parrying and blocking attacks, so this dynamic felt a lot better to me than any of the two-handed weapons I've used so far. I continued to explore the area, trying to make my way north to where a super chip was located on the map. It wasn't long before I made my way into a dark tunnel that was filled with another bug that I was seeing for the first time. Termites. Termites weren't bad to take on one at a time. They're very similar to ants, in fact. But unfortunately, the tunnels proved difficult because they were often in groups of 3 or more. I used my past experience in other survival games and MMOs to my advantage here. I used my bow to aggro one termite at a time until they were all taken care of. With all the new parts from termites, I headed home as I knew I could make a big upgrade to my arsenal with the termite axe. This would open up a huge opportunity for damage in the near future. After getting the termite axe, I headed back to where I was to continue working my way through the hordes of termites. Because of the sheer amount of them, I had a feeling I'd find something big here, and I was determined to figure it out. Using the same strategy as before, I pulled them one at a time with my bow to safely work through them all. I took out so many termites that I lost count. There were so many in the open room in front of me. I gathered up as many wooden splinters with my new axe as I could while I was nearby so many nodes of them, and soon found out what all the termites were protecting. What the hell is even that? What is that thing? Termite King. The crazy thing is I think it's stuck. Yeah, I think it's stuck. Weird. Well, let's take care of the little one here. You stuck, big man? Yeah, you're a little stuck. Why is he stuck, though? This is supposed to be a boss fight, I think. I actually find him easier to parry because of the telegraph than the smaller termites. Until that happened, I guess. Look at him march along. I feel bad that he's stuck in the ground, but I mean, what can I do? What can I do, man? Termite King Carapace +4. Well, I do feel bad, but, you know, I'm not the one that made that happen, okay? It wasn't me. Well, it makes sense why there were so many termites here then. Oh, there's the chip as well. Amazing. You know, it was difficult getting in here, but because of how the Termite King was bound to the ground via being glitched into the ground there, I feel bad, but I mean, I had that happen with other things as well, and when I came back later, even days later, they would still be stuck in the ground, so there isn't really much I can do except just kind of kill it off and move about our day. Despite it being night after exiting the Termite King's lair, I took more time to explore around. I ended up discovering a way to get onto the porch of the shed and looked around for anything potentially useful. I eventually made my way over to a baseball bat that allowed me to get onto a metal chair. When I got on top, I ended up in a huge fight against black ants and dust mites. After several minutes of non-stop combat, I made my way up a hammer leaning towards a table and made a jump over to it. Here, I found a few important things that would all become majorly relevant later on. float on over. There we go. Oh, there's Wendell's Scabby, all full size and everything. We got to install a fuse on there. So I guess we got to find that next. Oh, are those toenails? They are, and we can pick them up. Oh my god. I need a level 3 hammer for that as well. Oh my god, dude. Need a level 3 hammer for everything in the game at this point, it looks like. So I guess the next priority is level 3 hammer, and then we come back up this way and investigate more things. I decided after everything that it was time to turn in the chip to Burgle to see what it would unlock for me and head back home to assess what to do next. In this moment, I learned something amazing that I didn't know existed. There's a wizard hat as well as there are staves in-grounded that cast different elemental attacks. There's 3 different staves, mint, spicy, and sour. The one that appealed to me most was the sour staff, as the stun stat on it was maxed out. I knew in that moment that it was mandatory that I worked my way towards crafting it, but it would take some time before that would be possible. When I made it home after the awesome discovery of magic staves, I was greeted by several of the neighbors who were seemingly trying to tell me something via interpretive dance. It's nice to know that the neighbors weren't out to get me, and in fact are mostly friendly. Having them come over to visit me is a nice addition to an otherwise hostile world. The next day, I started up the game and immediately roamed in search of resources and whatever else may come my way. There were trenches to explore, the porch area in front of the shed, and everything to the east of that. Pupa hide. They kind of look like berries, so maybe I need to dry these out to make them leather. Alright, so I guess we just keep searching down here to get more of those. Being the proud new owner of pupa hides, I was excited for the things I could craft out of it. I gathered up as much as I could find in the area until it was too dark to see them anymore. I wasn't ready to go home as I still had inventory space, so I continued looking around. I ended up going towards the shed and the porch in front of it, where I decided it was time to take on a ladybird for the first time. Well, I've not fought one of these before. Let's see how this goes. I don't do a lot of damage with the arrows. Oh my god. My god, these guys hurts. I made my way up to the porch again, but instead of going towards the metal chair, this time I went the other way to see if anything cool was around. I found a huge mat on the ground covered in dust mites, so I took time to take them all out for their resources. While I was here, I also found lint, so I took advantage of the moment to grab it all up. Well, I guess I found where to get lint. Love that for us. It turns out there's a lot of resources up here that will advance my equipment very nicely. The sun was coming up after a long night of gathering resources, so I took advantage of it to be able to explore some more without fear of things hiding in the dark. What I found next would be extremely important, but not something I could do anything about at the moment. Well, this is really cool. Summon boss. Oh, this is a boss room. I made a mental note of this area and planned on seeing more of it later. I got back to the task at hand of exploring the area. It wasn't long before I found something quite interesting. What the? Buster cap gun? What is this? Green shield bug. Oh, that's a lot of health. And of course, there's something else on me right away. In typical fashion. I just find a way to cheese it. I did, but my bow's gonna break long before that'll happen. Okay, I thought this thing would have broken by now. Instead, we ran out of ammo. So now it's time to go in close and try to finish this thing off. Chop? What? What? Okay, that is a massive amount of damage you've just done to me. Oh, my pain. Well, he's stuck on something again. Now that my bow was broken, I was in a bit of a predicament. I didn't have a gas mask to prevent poison damage, so getting in close was a problem. And without a bow, I had no reliable way to deal damage, or so I thought. I had an idea in this moment, and it may seem desperate, but it ultimately pays off. Have that. I didn't do much at all. Have this one too. Don't worry, I got one more. Here, have this. Oh! He made a mistake. We got him! Super stink sack and 5 shield bug parts. Okay, well, resorting to throwing my gear was definitely a thing. It worked, okay? Feeling victorious but also unsafe due to the lack of ranged damage, I made my way back home to repair my gear and sleep off the night. I woke up and was finally able to craft the level 3 hammer. Alright, there it is. Time for the new hammer. There it is. Finally. This one took forever. This would open up all sorts of opportunities for increasingly strong materials and therefore equipment. I took the hammer and immediately went back to the porch where I found rust, sour wormholes, and toenails earlier so I could have them when I needed them to craft other things. Toenail. Gross. After gathering those resources, I continued exploring, but this time I moved away from the shed area. I decided to go further northeast where I ran into what would become one of my most feared enemies for a while. Oh, a lab. What was that? Oh, hey, a sour lump. Yeah, it's locked. Oh, there's wasps. Oh, God. No, their weakness is salty. Oh, there's a whole nest? Oh, God. Oh, it heals. What the? Wow, that's nuts. These wasps made quick work of me, and I realized that I was simply not prepared to fight them yet. I had no intention of going near them again until I had something stronger to fight them with. It's one thing to fly, it's another thing entirely to fly and heal. Feeling a bit humbled but still curious about what else I'd find in the area, I continued to walk around. Oh, pine cone! Oh man. Okay, that gives a good amount. Got 8 parts there. Oh hell yeah, another one. This is big. Oh, this is huge. So many of these things. Oh, big. I've got 28 sour lumps. Since I gathered so many valuable resources, I found it best to return home so I could see if I could get any stronger equipment and store the remaining things for safekeeping. Okay, we can make the Black Ox crossbow now. Let's get that going. We also might be able to make this red ant shield. Or not red ant, but rather fire ant. We can. Very good. I was about to set out to test out my new crossbow and shield when suddenly my base was being raided by mosquitoes. Mosquitoes? Oh god. It was the first time my base had ever been raided, so I stood my ground to see how it would go. Uh-oh. The placement of my turret is so bad. That did not work out for me at all. Well, at least if it gets destroyed, it drops the parts everywhere instead of completely destroying them. There, like it was never lost. After doing more damage to my base than the mosquitoes did, and then cleaning them up, I wanted to venture out again to see what things I could find. This time I went further east to check out the upper pond and surrounding area. What I would stumble upon here would end up being the single toughest enemy I've found and grounded up to this point. Fight with the big guy. Wish me luck. Holy health. The Black Widow was not only one of the hardest hitting enemies I've found so far, but also its venom was powerful and has a massive amount of health compared to the damage I was capable of doing at this time. But if you guys know anything about me, when I meet a challenge in a video game, I don't give up. I would try again and again, reloading every time I died to take another try at taking down the Black Widow. I knew the moveset already from fighting other spiders in the game. All I needed to do was tighten up my parrying and counterattacking. Before too long, I was able to effectively fight this spider to take it down. stamina. It's a problem. Oh, I got knocked down. Why'd I get knocked down? I still have stamina. How does that happen? Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. Drop one of these bad boys. All right, we're looking good. Oh, yeah. That's the business. We got him. Black Widow Fang and 3 spider chunks. I was hoping to get more new parts out of it, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. We defeated a Black Widow. That was a tough fight. That was very similar to other spiders, of course. The big kicker here is that it, you know, has major resistances and a ton of health to match it. Anyway. Looks like we have some nails here. This is good. This is a good find. Now that the Black Widow was dead, I was free to loot the cave, and I found a couple of good things in here. Taking out this spider was a major confidence boost for me, so I went back north again to see if my new crossbow could make a difference in taking down those wasps from earlier, alongside the salt arrows I had in my inventory. We should be able to take out these wasps with this combination. We should. Let's give it a go. Yes! Oh, that's effective as hell. Oh, it's super effective. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Excellent news. Okay, so I just learned that the salt falls off of the arrows. I didn't know that was going to be the way of it. Realizing the downside of the salt arrows, I went to find more wasps to see how the crossbow would do against them with splinter arrows. Splinter arrows are powerful by themselves, and now that I understood the attack patterns of wasps better, perhaps it would be enough to take them down. Man, this crossbow is amazing. Granted, that goes a lot faster with salt-tipped arrows, but the fact that I could take them down in general now with this thing, hell yeah. Incredible. I am loving this. I realized that with my new crossbow, these wasps wouldn't be nearly as problematic as they were earlier in the day. I headed home with all my new materials to see what I could craft out of them. I found out that I was able to make a new armor set out of all the wasp parts I found, and I had plenty to do it, so I crafted them all up and then upgraded them. That marks the end of this video. That's not all I have for you though. There's still plenty to do in Grounded, and it would be great to have you along for more of the adventure. The next video is ready for you right now, this one taking us into more previously unexplored areas and taking on more tough enemies in hopes of finding a way to escape the backyard. I'll see you over there. Until then, be excellent to each other.